I'm minding my business. Please just leave me alone.
That's Garner. Several New York City police officers are about to take him down.
Don't touch me, please. Don't touch me. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Mr. Garner, all right, is dead because he resisted arrest. Once the police officers started to feel themselves in danger by saying, oh, you know, get away from me. You know, why are you guys always bothering me? All right, you got to take this guy down. The only way you can take him down is by the neck. All right, unless you want me to beat him with a nightstick. He was screaming down when he was on the ground that he couldn't breathe. If he was in a real chokehold, he would not even be able to say that. Just because he says he can't breathe, when you say you can't breathe, you're breathing. Mr. Garner would be alive today if he turned around and put his hands behind his back.
He'd be alive today if the police officer had responded when he said, I can't breathe 11 times.
You don't know that for sure. All right, the fact that he had pre-existing conditions, all right, asthma, he had a heart condition, all right, we don't know that for a fact. This has turned into a racial issue where it is not a racial issue.
Tamir Rice, seen here on surveillance video playing with a pellet gun. Police dispatcher apparently didn't relay the part that the gun could be fake. Soon a squad car pulls up, and within 2 seconds, Officer Timothy Lohman guns down the boy.
So you look at the circumstances of this case, did officers have a choice but to shoot?
No, they didn't have a choice.
Come on, Harry. Shot him in 2 seconds.
I've been talking about this. It doesn't matter.
What?
2 seconds?
Yes, it does. It does. The fact is that it doesn't matter. 2 seconds. Well, how long is it going to take for me to get killed? Police officer.
This is an untrained, incompetent police officer that tactically decided to put himself in harm's way, to rush up near this person that he thought was armed, get out of the car, and shoot him in 2 seconds. And by the way, he claimed that he claimed that he gave Tamir Rice repeated commands to drop the gun, repeated commands to do this, to do that. But he shot him in 2 seconds.
I'm not giving you my name.
Cooks gets on the phone to call her boyfriend.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Ma'am, please. Do not touch me. Do not. I'm pregnant.
Cooks is 8 months pregnant and never stops screaming.
Do it. Ma'am, please. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant.
Who escalated this whole thing here, though? The woman did. You cannot resist arrest. All right, all she had to do was put her hands behind her back, all right, and get handcuffed, and she wouldn't have been involved in an altercation.
You are putting it on her when he is the one who did the wrong thing.
When the officer said he was under arrest, she needs to do that. Now what she did is put her own child's life in danger.
Did he say you're under arrest?
Yes, I think he did.
No, I didn't hear that on the tape. That's what I'm saying. We're adding things that aren't there.
Well, I heard him say the officer thought, and he was acting in good faith. All right.
Where's the good faith?
No, listen, I can't read his mind.
What you just said.
All right, Chris. He thought. I'm assuming that he thought.
Oh, you're assuming he thought.
I'm assuming that he
thought.
You
are actually
that he acted.
Yes. The altercation caught on that video between Blend and Trooper Brian Encenia off camera is disturbing.
I'm in my car, but I have to put out my cigarette.
Well, you can step on out now. Out of the car.
You do not have the right to do that.
I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove you.
I refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself.
Step out.
She wasn't being uncooperative. Yes, she was. She was being uncooperative. She goes, I don't have to show you my ID. Didn't you hear her? I don't have to show you my ID. I don't have to tell you who I am.
That's not what she said.
That's what she was saying. It's right in the video. She did.
He said, I'm a little bit irritated, but it doesn't stop you from giving me a ticket. So, and then he says, are you done? He said, you asked me if what was wrong, and then she goes on, I don't see anything about an ID.
The whole thing is that she was very arrogant from the beginning, very dismissive of the officer. All right, she was very uncooperative.
I'm in my car. Why do I have to put out my cigarette?
She still had that arrogant attitude towards the officer from the beginning. So she seemed to be a little bit out of control. So even if the officer had probably tried to calm that down, I don't think it would have helped. She had a problem with the officer. She had a problem with being stopped. She didn't like the fact that she was being stopped. Her whole arrogant attitude. You know that you must comply with the police officer's wishes.
He did not fear.
You must still comply, right or wrong. There's no indication this is racial at all. None whatsoever. This is a race card that's being played all over again.
The judge has released dash cam video of a deadly police shooting in California. When Ricardo Diaz-Zeferino reached for his hat and then drops his hands to his side, 2 officers opened fire. Were the officers justified here?
Yes. The other 2 people that he is with have their hands up and they are listening to the police 100%. This man does not. This indicates to you as a police officer, you are now perceiving a threat that man might be trying to find some way to attack the officers. All right, that's the only conclusion you can come to. The hat coming off. I have had guys with .25 caliber automatics in their hats. I've had it with them in their hair. As an officer now, you are perceiving that threat.
Former Deputy Ben Fields was called to the classroom after the 16-year-old student refused repeated requests to leave by both her teacher and a school administrator.
Give me the best defense for what this guy is doing in these circumstances.
Okay, first of all, let me tell you, there's a police officer in that school for a reason.
Right.
A lot of violent gang activity in that school. That girl got out of the car, got out of the seat when she was told there'd be no problem. But apparently she had no respect for the school, no respect for her teacher, probably has no respect at home or on the street, and that's why she acted the way she did. So what the police officer did basically was all legal. She did not get hurt. All right, so apparently the officer did it in a way where she could not get hurt. It just looks bad in the video. Harry.
I mean, there are ways.
You know.
Resisting?
Ma'am.
Well, what's interesting about what you, because
you know
so
the fact
again,
that
my eyes are lying to me.
It doesn't seem like this child.
She's sitting there.
Right.
She's just sitting there in a very docile way. In fact,
you want to sit there for 2 hours and wait? Like more cops come, more teachers come.
Does her age matter in all of this? I mean, should that be taken into account?
No. I think it matters.
A high school kid.
It matters legally, certainly.
High school kids have
but it
killed
also
police
matters
officers.
in terms of. Oh, come on.
But the fact that he gets punched in the face as he's trying to pull her up from that chair. Okay.
And here it begins.
Do you mind letting me speak, please?
The victim
I let you speak.
begins.
So, all right? She's resisting all the way. I think that desk went over by mistake as a result of her trying to keep away from the police officer. He had her leg and tried to pull her out of the chair. And that's what it looks like to me. And then she comes around and punches him, and that's when the thing escalates. Yes.
The store owner, who says he witnessed the shooting, says the officers slammed Sterling against a car and tased him before shooting him.
Mr. Sterling did not comply with the officers, and therefore this altercation started. If you look at that other officer, he does not now have control of that right arm, and those officers at that time believed that their lives were in danger and that Mr. Sterling was able to get near or close to that weapon, and they had a fire.
Philando Castile and his fiancée Diamond Reynolds pulled over by Minnesota police for a broken taillight.
He let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet, and the officer just shot him in his arm.
I'm not so sure if this woman is so credible or not. It clearly here just shows you the fact that you need to comply with police officers, especially when you have a gun permit and you are carrying a weapon.
That would suggest to the American people that this man wasn't compliant. And I don't want to assert something that could be counterfactual.
We don't know. We have another black man that's dead for no reason.
Who had a gun?
For no reason.
Who had a gun?
The gun was never shown, sir.
Don't you have to admit that the situation may not even have presented itself at the very beginning, at the traffic stop, if he had not been black?
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Everybody is rushing to judgment here. There is no evidence to indicate that this was a racial incident at all. But everybody's making it a racial incident because it falls into their narrative.